Today on Create, I'm bringing out the big guns. Using none of the Create add-ons that actually make movable bases possible, I want to make a functional battle Zeppelin that's gonna fly through the sky, raining dynamite on my enemies. Will I succeed in my endeavors, or did I cleverly Photoshop the footage you're seeing to make it look like the thing is actually moving? Find out in today's video, as we once again enter the world of minecart contraptions. Now, last episode we did something pretty epic. We managed to make a flying machine using Create mechanics with the minecart contraptions. And also a couple flying things from the immersive aircraft mod. That was pretty cool. And today I want to expand that concept and make our automatic autonomous flying machine for Create even more epic. We're gonna make a full entire moving base out of this contraption. But what would that even mean? How do we make this into something that we could actually live in? Well, I have a list of demands. For one, I want to be able to stop this contraption mid-flight. That is very important because only once we actually stop it like this, make it into actual blocks, can we access all the inventories and contraptions and other things within the machine. For two, it is very important to me that I will be able to steer it, because right now I would love to turn around and move that way instead, but check this out, I can't actually do it without making it back into a contraption, picking it up and placing it back down, and that's entirely too much hassle. For three, obviously it needs to have some basic, accommodation for a player, and for four, I wanted to have offensive capabilities. I'm gonna teach it to swear in Russian. No, I actually mean that we will have some guns on it. And I say we will, but I actually have no bloody idea how to actually make that a reality. So, let's try and see, maybe it will work out. It has never worked out for anyone that I would have a gun. So how do we get there? How do we improve on what obviously is already peak of engineering? Well, for one, it helps to make this not happen. You can see here that the slime blocks that it's using for flying have become part of the contraption. That is an issue, because then also the rails and the torches and everything else become part of the contraption, and we're actually placing and removing them distinctly to fly. So this, hilariously, will not fly. And the culprit absolutely are just the slime blocks. The slime blocks can distinctly connect themselves to the rest of the machine whenever given an opportunity. But you have to keep in mind, the only reason I'm using slime blocks in the first place is because they are insta-breakable. You can just punch them out. So we could just swap them for a different kind of a block that would be very fast to break. Wait a minute, I hear you ask, as fast as an instant? No, but the trick about the machine as it stands right now is that the slime blocks are not actually being insta-broken. The speed of the machine right now is not limited by the blocks it's standing on, but by the rate at which a plow breaks a railway. Which I thought was also instant, but obviously it is not. So we could easily put something different there as long as we can break it and place it back. So yeah, let's try that, I guess. Clean all of this out. I'm gonna activate this cut assembler. And here's something that you actually taught me. Turns out, you can use minecart with a furnace instead of a regular minecart for a minecart contraption. So instead of a regular minecart, I'm gonna put a minecart with a furnace in there. This now became a minecart contraption. And if I just give it some charcoal... what? No! No! Stop moving! What? Oh, I placed it the wrong way! I placed it the opposite way, damn it! Alright, my bad. Great success. Let's try it again. Okay, let's try with me actually remembering which direction the thing was placed. These go here, these go there, and if I just push it a little bit, okay, there we go. Now we're talking. Give him back my thing. The thing, that thing, this. Yep, thank you. The real test obviously starts as soon as it moved onto the framed glass, which will be starting. Yep, there we go. And this is not fast. We'll need a different, more breakable material, but even then, truth be told, maybe the slowness at which this thing is moving right now is actually beneficial to us, because this way it's way easier to stop it mid-flight, which again was one of my demands. After much consideration, I decided to switch to rose quartz lamps, because they are also pretty cool. Oh, and also they break pretty much like this, so it's fine. It's not super fast, but it's definitely about as fast as the machine can break, as long as I can. And just for the giggles, I want to remove this plow real quick. The point here is that I want to see how fast this will go if we don't actually have to break the rail itself. Oh, this is fastery. This is much fastery. I very enjoy. It would have gone even better if I actually bothered to give it some rail also. Now the next improvement is quite fiddly, because we need now to figure out how to make this turn, and I owe it to you folks, because there was a comment that inspired this entire video, and that was a comment that said, hey, you do realize that using regular rails you could probably make it change a direction. Let's try it out and see. The trick ultimately is that we don't know how it's gonna behave once tasked with changing the direction. We can try and rotate it this way, right? And then maybe attempt to add a few more blocks so that we are paving the gap between this and this. And let's just give it a regular rail, because I am a cheapskate. My question is how many things we're gonna basically lose in the way, because the cat has no idea that it's not supposed to keep placing blocks in this particular case. So it will just place blocks on the radius like an idiot. So let's see how much of a disaster that's gonna be. Okay. Up. And we are turning. And we are turning. And we are turning. Did we turn? We did not. Oh god, it's gonna fall. Oh god, it's gonna fall. No, it's not. Well, look at that. It turned out to be smarter than I am. Oh, no. It did. Where is it? Did I sink up? Yep. At this ocean floor. Kinda have an idea on how to maybe fix it. Saying that we're gonna fix it implies that we know what, like, the fixed version would be. And we don't. Oh, hey, look, this one got activated somehow. I wonder how. Oh, you can just right-click them with your wrench to activate or deactivate. That's kind of cute. Okay, check this out. We got this little strip with just a tiny bit of rail and a torch. And we got this machine rapidly approaching. I said, approaching that place. So, here we go. Flying. Obviously flying. No one can say that we're not flying. And once it reaches our little turning station, look what's gonna happen. Because this is kind of incredible. Okay, the cat is almost there. Hop! Why did you stop? No! You have the rails, right? Don't you? You have the rails, you have the everything. Come on, let me help you a little bit. And there it goes! Having left behind just a bunch of blocks. And a couple torches. Look at it go! We have successfully turned it. Admittedly, that required me to go quite far away, like in front of it. And that's not... I don't think I can execute that kind of a situation, you know, mid-flight. And it sucks, because I would love to be able to turn it mid-flight. You see the situation, right? We can maybe not turn it mid-flight, because I just don't have enough time to, like, place enough blocks for it to turn. But what I can certainly do is I can force it to turn on a station. Means that what we could do here is we could set it to fly somewhere and basically cruise control. Yeah! It's gonna just fly on its own until it hit the station, and change its direction. The only problem with that is that it is, yeah, not actually leaving the station behind. Because the nature of the drill is such that it will just drill through the station. And I don't think we can make the station, the machine itself stop and not demolish the station. But I do think that there is a thing in this game that allows you to place the blocks right back where they used to be. Meaning that what we can do is we can build the machine, send it, as machine passes the station, it demolishes it after itself, and then the station gets reassembled using the deployers. In fact, because the minecart interface, inventory interfaces kind of things exist, you know, the things that we're using to interact with our farms and whatnot, we can even make the machine unload all of the items that it picked up off of the station. This is kind of insane and I love it. So obviously we gotta do it now. Okay, so we can, in theory, eventually change the direction on this machine. So I'm really happy with that. What I do want to do now is I want to expand it in a way where it will not interfere with the main engine. Which, yes, meet the main engine, everybody. This is the main engine. Looks stupid? Yeah, I know. Obviously, we will need a bunch of glue for that, but before we get into the exterior decorating our battle Zeppelin, I wanna know a couple things. And one of the things I wanna know is if I attach a door to it like this, right? Can it be opened, closed when this thing is activated into a thing? Because that's what I also want to do. Like, oh, that's impressive. At the very least, we get to have doors on our thing. We don't get to open chests, we don't get to open barrels, but we get to have doors and we can make something resembling an actual interior. So I'm really happy. Though I do want to maybe use train doors for it instead. You know, just saying. I feel like a train door is just like, look at this. Obviously this is superior, right? Okay, this I think is gonna be the general room housing the engine. Obviously we want at least another deck where I want to have the battle guns. The battle guns will be kind of complicated, okay? But in the meantime, I've been building out of deep slate and I was like, you know what, this is too rocky. This is a little bit, it's industrial looking, sure, and the lamps definitely help. But then I realized we are playing modded Minecraft and there's such a mod as like industrial decor. So what we can do here is we can craft industrial iron and also cast iron to get our resources, to get different blocks. So cast iron is pretty handy. You get cast iron blocks out of it and you get a couple variants which look really cool. And all you need to do for that is a bit of charcoal and a single iron ingot. So obviously we're doing that. But also, turns out there is industrial iron as well. Apparently from the same mod, and it has the prettier trapdoors, from what I can tell. So obviously we'll be using that. We won't be using the padded ones, I don't really feel like that's a good idea, but the trapdoors and the doors and the maybe these blocks, I absolutely adore, so obviously I want them. Can I open them without having to provide redstone? No, I cannot. Wonderful, this is useless to me. Okay, this is looking... It's looking alright. It's kind of a box right now, but at the same time, I can totally see the finished version in my mind, and that's incredibly important in this game. I do wonder though, check this out. Picking up the glue and pressing Ctrl, I can't see the entirety of everything connected, everything that is connected highlighted in blue. Because we now basically created a kind of a bagel of glue. This area down here, the engine itself, is not at all glued to anything else. And also it's just gonna be really funny seeing this. So here we go, check this out. I'm placing the blocks, but believe you me, the blocks are definitely not gluing themselves to anything. Come on now. Okay, let's make it move, everybody. Also, I will need this. Thank you. Alright, get charcoaled and... Okay, we're going. It's hilarious because from our point of view, all that is happening currently is this thing is changing. But in reality, if you step outside real quick, we have successfully took off. We left a little bit of ourselves behind, mind you. But other than that, we are actually moving. This is the maiden flight of my battle Zeppelin. I don't know what's in that direction. Maybe we will hit a tree, maybe we won't. Another cool thing is we once again changed the material that the Zeppelin is technically riding on. So we are now using moss for it. Moss is pretty cool. It's very easy to break. And we are once again really not limited by the speed of breaking the blocks, we're limited by the speed of breaking the rail. And I wonder if that speed is gonna increase if I feed our minecart a little bit of coal. Yeah, I feel it actually did a little bit. Oh, it looks very inevitable. It is not fast, but it is definitely threatening with the slow but patient approach. Oh my god, no, I love this. This is great. After much consideration, I finally settled on the color scheme for the entire thing, and if I do say so myself, it's really cool. We got the red terracotta with the kind of a deep slate and cast iron for the cabin down here, but then the balloon of the Zeppelin is going to be made out of scorchia, out of cut scorchia, regular scorchia, and polished cut scorchia. It's really good looking. It has such a good kind of a industrial texture of raw or rough metal that it just fits so well. Oh, and by the by, scorchia we basically have an infinite supply of, because scorchia is actually just scoria but with a black ink in the middle. And black ink we can easily get from charcoal. And then scoria itself is actually just cooked soul sand, which I need to remind you, we have a farm for, so yeah, I'll be fine on building materials. But also, the bottom half is probably gonna be a little bit more interesting than even I anticipated originally. You see, I kept teasing that we're gonna put guns on this thing, and my original plan had something to do with this thing called a seat. My original idea was that we will craft a bunch of seeds, put skeletons in them, and then get the skeletons to fire at our enemies. But unfortunately, it just is not a thing, because turns out, if you put something into a seed, and then you pick up the contraption, unfortunately that makes that something pop out of the seed and drop down from the height of your Zeppelin, presumably to its doom. But unfortunately, or fortunately, we will have to go a different route. That different route may be only working when the contraption is in not the contraption mode. But even then, I promise, it's gonna be so cool you won't even mind that we can only do it when we're standing still. I just need to figure out something about the bearings, okay? Because I want to give the stupid thing its own little garage that opens. What we need to make this work is a regular mechanical bearing and a sequence gear shift, which honestly makes this entire task so easy I can't actually believe it's in the game. Essentially, this allows us to program a mechanical bearing to not only tune at a particular angle, but also follow the sequence depending on how we want it to tune. So, for example, right now it's gonna tune 90 degrees, so if I click it, then this will vary eventually, because, you know, we're currently using the speed from, what's it called? From some sails down here that I installed as an engine, to very eventually open the gate like this. But more importantly, I don't have to end it this way. What I can do instead, I can tell it to then await a redstone pulse, and if that redstone pulse comes, tune by another angle into the opposite direction. Meaning that what I can do here is I can basically make a garage door that opens up upon the first click, and then after having completed the sequence, receives another signal and closes right back down. This is pretty flippin' awesome, especially for what we're trying to accomplish. Unfortunately, I do not know if it's gonna, you know, drive away with us if I do in fact glue it all together. Because this does kind of rely on, you know, the garage door itself being a kind of a glued together part. Anyway, don't matter anyway, in the first place, unless we can put together the actual thing that I need this to open for. So let's get my obsidian going and let's start the contraption of the riskiest part of this entire invention. Oh yeah, we couldn't put any archers in here, so we're going directly for the TNT cannon. So just for the record, this is what dispensers look in this pack for some bizarre reason, and this is what Dynamite looks in it. So we're about to have quite an exciting adventure. I'm just gonna spread this a little bit all over the place. Like, obviously I'm using obsidian for like no good reason at all. I should not be using obsidian because we do want none of the blocks to blow up, but we will be preventing it from blowing up by putting down some water. Here's a trick about that though. You can't super glue water. It's just not a block. So we can't take it with us if we start moving. And that is a big problem for our TNT cannon, because the water will just remain not glued together and it will just remain floating, the water block. We need the propellant, which is the charge, and we need the cannonball. Propellant explodes, launching the cannonball. Somewhere, hopefully, I'm not convinced that it didn't just get destroyed right there. Huh. Okay, either we detonated it like so far away that it didn't even render, or we just disintegrated it somehow, which either of those options make no bloody sense. Seriously, I expected to blow up my own ship. I did not expect, you know, this to happen. Is it even lit in it? Oh my god, yes it is! We just heard it behind us, blow up. Yep, and you saw it leave and it blew up somewhere down there. Even if we're not actually blowing anyone up. This is pretty badass, you gotta admit. Try to, and let's see if this changes anything. This is a pulse repeater and basically is a regular repeater, but it only repeats a pulse from a button. It does, however, come also with the delay, and the delay can be customized by seconds, full flipping seconds. I'm not sure 5 seconds is like the perfect delay between the propellant and the cannonball, but I am willing to try, and I mean, most of the thing here is made out of... Oh god! Oh crap. Yeah, okay, 5 seconds couldn't... 5 seconds definitely was a little bit too long. I'll have to rebuild the entire thing here. Ouch. After much consideration, I decided that maybe I should go for a much more humbler TNT cannon design, so we're using this old reliable. This one doesn't use propellant at all, it actually launches everything using slime blocks. Let's go! And it goes, and we can even see it, and yep, that fish got what it freaking deserved, you know it, you just know it. Why didn't my... What? Oh! We apparently have some sort of a mod that moves dispensers using slime blocks. I genuinely have no way of counteracting that. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm just gonna dispense dynamite from the top. Boink. Oh. Yeah, I deserved that. Okay, after much finagling, I decided to once again come back to water-powered cannons, and yeah, unfortunately, I'm at this point kind of running low on dynamite. So this assembly right here, I think is gonna be the final version of the TNT cannon for the Zeppelin. Come on, come on, come on, come on! And yep, there we go, you heard the second explosion. Cannon, it can. Anyway, close the hatch. All that's left to do now is to make sure that everything is nice and glued together. And yes, I owe you a second TNT cannon, but honestly, after testing them out so much that I ran out of a stack of dynamite, I just wanna see this baby fly, so let's go back into the engine compartment and see that happen. It's all activated, here we go, minecart. And I don't like that sound that it's making. Can you start moving? Eh. Oh. Oh no! There are too many blocks included in this contraption. The configured maximum is 2048. Oh, that is unfortunate. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, at this point my computer starts lagging if I try to look at this machine. I drop all the frames. Obviously, it's a little bit too big for actual flight. No! And I can't get rid of parts of it. That's not that I can easily disassemble it in the first place, because I mean, come on, look at this. Like, how do you untangle this mess of glue? I genuinely don't know how much of the hull, how much of the like beautiful outer edge of it, outer cylinder is gonna remain if we actually drop it all the way down to the requirement. This actually pains me to do. Come on, man. And I think I just did it. And almost entirely by accident. You know what? Fine. Just to see what kind of a disaster this is. We somehow left behind the windmills. Let's see. We left behind the windmills. And we left behind a good half of the... No! The TNT Cannon! We left behind the TNT Cannon. And one of the doors, but not both of them. Hold on, can I actually activate the door mid-flight? Is my question. No, I cannot. I don't think redstone, like, buttons and whatnot can be used. Man, what a trip. In the literal sense, but also just in the general sense of pain. And it even still, it is so beautiful to look at. This giant Zeppelin moving through the air. It is so incredible. I don't know why the windmills decided to be left behind when clearly the moving contraption components can remain. Like, this door is still here. And that creeper obviously is coming with us. Yeah, obviously if I want this to be a fully functional design, I have to iron out a few quirks. And one of those quirks is definitely, certainly, making sure that it actually fits within the parameters. I get that you can, in theory, just expand the limit of like the biggest contraption possible, but it would be much easier and much nicer to just make the contraption smaller. That being said, even just moving with this thing is quite the experience. I really love this feeling of being on a moving vehicle that's like big and nice and kind of a train. Just the sense of piloting it, you know, it's there's nothing like it. But enough joyriding. There we go. I managed to stop it. Not with any kind of precision, but it's the fact that it stopped that counts. And there we go. That might have been the perfect ending to this video. I don't like to post things defined by failure, but it is really funny that every single thing, more or less, that I tried today ended up with me being blown up or otherwise destroyed. And now all my loot is who knows how far away. Me there on a floating vehicle. I mean, at least it's not getting any further. Alright folks, I already pulled several all-nighters for the sake of this video. And I hope you really enjoyed this absolutely wild adventure we went onto. We will definitely be revisiting this concept, maybe doing something smaller and much more thought through. But even still, I do think that we had a lot of fun today. But for today, I really gotta let it go. So, to be continued, have a good one, bye bye.